A solemn day in America as the nation remembers the September 11th attacks 20 years later. We will take you to the remembrance ceremonies across the country, including here in Houston. But first tonight, we're looking ahead to what could be a rainy week with chances for flooding. Hello again, everyone. I'm Tom Abrams. Meteorologist Rachel Bryars joins us now with a forecast for heavy rain from a tropical disturbance. Rachel.
Yeah, you are exactly right. We actually are expecting that heavy rain to make its way in as we head into the start of your work week. So the main thing as we head into the next few days, make sure that you are staying weather aware, because with that heavy rainfall also comes that threat of possible flash flooding. But let's go ahead and let's take a look at this disturbance right now. It is in the very southern portions of the Gulf of Mexico, actually in the Bay of Campeche right now. Has a 90% chance of development in the next 2 days. So as we head into the day tomorrow or even into Monday, we are expecting this to intensify into a tropical depression, at least possibly a tropical storm. Then from there, it looks like it will continue to drift up to the north. Right now, the exact path cannot be completely mapped on out until it gets more of a circulation of a low level center. But hopefully we'll know a lot more as we head into the day tomorrow as this starts to organize. So here's what we are expecting over the next few days tonight. That disturbance stays over in the southwestern portions of the Gulf. Sunday, we're actually going to have a chance for a few scattered showers and storms, but the main days we're watching are Monday and Tuesday with that potential of heavy rain. We'll break it all down for you coming up in my full forecast.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Well, today, Governor Greg Abbott placed severe weather resources on standby from Beaumont to the Rio Grande Valley. His office urges you to get ready by building an emergency supply kit and protecting your property now. That means moving valuables to higher ground, clearing drains and gutters, and keeping important documents in waterproof containers. You can watch our forecast no matter where you are by downloading our ABC13 News app. You can check the radar, get weather alerts sent straight to your phone. That's also where Rachel and the rest of our weather team will bring you streaming updates if there is severe weather. A tribute in light on a dark day in our nation's history. This is a live look at New York City, where two beams of light shine in honor of the Twin Towers, which fell in the September 11th terror attacks. Mourners gathered at the 9/11 memorial this morning to remember the nearly 3,000 people who lost their lives 20 years ago. As families of the victims read the names of every life lost, a bell tolled to observe a moment of silence for each of the 6 pivotal moments of that attack: the crashes at the North and South Towers, the Pentagon and Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and the moment each tower fell.
It is our responsibility to remember, and it is our duty to defend democracy.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin spoke at a ceremony at the Pentagon. An American flag was unfurled over the building to honor those who were killed there. And in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, President Joe Biden, First Lady Jill Biden laid a wreath at the memorial to the 40 passengers and crew who overpowered the hijackers to crash that plane into a field. Former President George W. Bush also delivered remarks.
These Americans were brave, strong, and united in ways that shocked the terrorists, but should not surprise any of us. This is the nation we know.
And there could have been another name on that list of victims. A Houston man says his father survived the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center and then was supposed to be there on 9/11. ABC 13's Stefania Coley explains what stopped him from going.
Tom, good evening. There are so many Americans connected to this tragedy in so many different ways. This man has a unique story of survival, one his family calls divine intervention.
On this day 20 years ago,
the whole day that day, we were getting calls. Is he alive? Is he okay? Is he alive? Is he okay?
John Liu's father would have been inside of his office, the 21st floor in Tower 1 at the World Trade Center.
Oh, he wanted to go to work that day.
But he escaped through jury duty, a decision he almost decided against.
And that day, my mom convinced my dad to go to jury duty.
In 1993, John's father survived the first terrorist attack that was carried out at the World Trade Center, a truck bomb detonating below Tower 1. 6 were killed. His father, one of more than 1,000 hurt.
He was rushed to the hospital because all that, the chemicals, the dust that he inhaled.
But on September 11th, 2001,
God said, not today, not today. They were very shocked that they retrieved anything at all.
Looking back 20 years,
no one hits me the most is in here.
John takes us through his father's only physical memories of the World Trade Center, recovered by crews more than a year after the attack, company cards, building keys, IDs, now pieces of history.
No, they found it in ground zero. This is his access to get in the elevators. Every year 9/11 comes around, you know, we relive what happened.
I'm Svenia Coley, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Now, there were a number of remembrance ceremonies across the Houston area today, and ABC 13's TJ Parker takes us to one in downtown, which honored a Houston native who died at the crash in Shanksville.
It was a beautiful ceremony here at Market Square Park, with the community coming out to honor all those lives lost on the September 11th attacks, this on the 20-year anniversary. Today, Houston remembers 9/11.
Bells are tolling across the nation as we mark a dark day in the mournful yet hopeful ceremonies.
We should acknowledge and also honor all those who paid that price, because all of our nation was affected.
Local, state, and federal leaders joining the community for a ceremony honoring the lives lost 20 years ago.
Was a pivotal moment in our nation's history. And it's a moment that changed the way we live our daily lives in so many ways. And even 20 years removed today, those memories, for those of us who lived through that day, are etched in our memories.
At Market Square Park, a garden was planted for one of those lives, a Houstonian, Lauren Catuzzi Grancolas. She was a flight attendant on United Flight 93 that crashed in Pennsylvania. That's where her parents were today honoring her.
The family sends their heartfelt thanks to all of you at this event today, and those honoring the events and victims of 9/11 all over the world.
Also in attendance today was former U.S. Secretary of Education Rod Page. He was with President George W. Bush when he learned of the attacks.
This is an experience in my life that will never go away. It's an experience that will never go away, and it's very vivid. The very detail of it is still there.
A city hundreds of miles away from New York, Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania, yet still so close.
And it was a reminder that 9/11 doesn't just, in a sense, it doesn't belong just to New York. 9/11 belongs to all of us.
Reporting downtown, I'm TJ Parker, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Turning to some other news for a moment tonight, Deer Park police are searching for a thief caught on camera stealing nearly $2,000 worth of donated clothing meant for people in need. ABC 13's Brooke Taylor has their story.
Those donations meant for adults and children, many of them students who are back at school and in desperate need of clothing right now. It was all caught on this Ring camera.
Surveillance footage captures a white pickup truck stealing a trailer on East 8th Street early Friday morning. What the thief may or may not have known is that the trailer was filled with something worth much more than a price tag. Clothing donations for people in need.
I couldn't believe that somebody had taken it.
Melinda Stevenson is the director of Clothed by Faith, a nonprofit that provides a week's worth of gently used clothing for adults and children. They partner with organizations, churches, and many different schools, including over 130 in Houston ISD.
A lot of times there's a need, like they need, the kids need shoes that fit like we did, or they need uniforms. And so we're able to go out and purchase the things that we don't have so that we can make sure that we're meeting the needs that are there.
The stolen trailer was used to store donations because they don't have a ton of space inside the building. In fact, they just picked up donations from several local churches. Stevenson predicts there was at least $2,000 worth of clothes stolen. She isn't sure how they were able to get away with the trailer because there was a lock on the trailer hitch. While it's an inconvenience and a major setback for the nonprofit, she says they aren't the victims here.
Families that have, maybe are going to have a fire in the next week, or kids where we had clothes in there that they're going to school but they don't have what they need, and we were going to be able to get them a whole new wardrobe. That's really who they hurt.
If anyone wants to help and learn where to donate to their branches in Deer Park or Katy, the best way to do so is by visiting their website, clothedbyfaith.org. Brooke Taylor, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.